It is amazing to me how many times I have to realize the same thing over and over again. Like I'll have this realization about something and I'm like, oh wow, just like cracked my head in half. And then some while later, like the same thing hits me sideways from some other angle. And I just don't understand. Like it's like this constantly spiraling, unraveling situation. I mean, sometimes you just need to stop and like sit with it. You know, I mean, maybe you're not a sitter. Some people really don't like to sit. They're like, they pace, you know, they go for walks. They probably get a dog because dogs are great for that. Honestly, I took a dog for a walk recently for the first time by myself. And they are fantastic companions. I definitely can see the appeal now, especially when you have one that's been well trained and is just like such a good girl. Absolutely love it. Anyway, I just wanted to share these thoughts and just give a little space to this permission of play thing that is the thing I just keep on realizing over and over again, just like how much I haven't let myself play and how important it is to do everything from a place of playing. Because if you're not playing, then what's the point? Like, it's gotta feel good. If it doesn't feel good, you're not in the right place. It's just like, and sometimes you really need to think about it because it's not clear. And that is so fair to me. There are so many options. We have never had so many options. It is incredible. It's staggering. Absolutely staggering. At any given moment, I am very aware of all the things I could be doing, and often what I do instead is absolutely nothing. I've been in a real need for nothingness, and it's amazing how much nothing I need. Oh man, I don't even understand. Like, I say the words out loud and like they almost sound poetic, and I'm like, I'm no freaking poet, man. Like, I'll chop words up however I need to get my point across. Like, words aren't sacred as such. Where they do become so is when you've gotten so clear on your intention where you're going that you know that every word you say is to that end. So that even if you fuck them up sometimes and you swear, like, whatever, you know? It's about the thing underneath the words, what the words are trying to express. Words are not the end of it. They're like the tippy iceberg of what is actually going on. There's so much more to feel in every moment, all of them. And when you feel so profoundly, it's like, oh my God, it feels like a fucking curse. It feels like you've been cursed by this planet to feel an unfathomable amount of things. And you know that most of them aren't even yours. Like, that's the most annoying part, is at some point you're just like, this shit isn't even mine. And I'm still getting beaten up by it. How is that possible? And it's just like, you get to that place over and over and over again. I don't know how many times I can realize how important it is to take care of yourself. Because if you're not playing, then that means you're not in an environment that is conducive to play. And just think about how everyone else is feeling then. Can you imagine where no one is playing? Being in a place where no one is playing? Holy shit, no. In this regard, I was incredibly spoiled. I was possibly the most spoiled, overplayed child you've ever met. I was wild. I mean, wild child. I'm now the wild guardian, but back then I was a wild child. I was like a demon, straight out of the gutter, man. That's what it felt like. It felt like, and I know a lot of people be like, you? Fuck off, little Miss Goody Two-Shoes. Oh no, I am, yes. Guilty as charged. I like to stay in my lane. It's my favorite place to be. And I'm gonna have a fucking kick-ass time doing it because I know what my lane is, you know? And my lane is wherever I feel like I'm playing. And it moves, you know? There's a song that I will want to incorporate here in some capacity. I've been revisiting some songs. Yeah, that's been a trip in and of itself. It was only a week ago, last Thursday. I suddenly felt like picking up an instrument. It's a traditional instrument from my local area. And I picked it up and I just started playing. And it was so funny because when I first started learning the instrument, I was trying to learn other people's music. I was trying to learn the neck, and I was trying to learn music theory. I got really into music theory. I wanna hang out some more in music theory land. There's a lot here, and I'm really enjoying it. You know, I learned music when I was young, but I never really took it that seriously. You know, I was never treating it like it was one day going to be my job. To me, music was always like really, really sacred. Music was like worshipped in our household. We worshipped music like it was a god, like it had mystical powers. We would go to a lot of concerts. Both my parents like to dance. Both of them continue to dance. My mom has been dancing more now in the last few years than she's ever danced in her life, and she's the happiest she's ever been. So yeah, we're a family of enthusiastic music lovers. We just love music to pieces. And I feel like a kind of storyteller, kind of musician, artist thing. I don't really know what I am. To be honest, it's a work in progress. I'm making it up as I go. Right now, excuse me, I'm doing this. It's my first venture into a solo project, or anything really done in public. That's an important part of this, is just getting used to sharing anything at all. Part of the not being allowed to play was, it's a whole story on its own, but there's a lot of hiding going on, a lot of hiding. And the hiding kind of started a bit as an accident. It was kind of just like a game I was playing with myself, sort of. At some point I forgot, though, that I had come up with this grand idea of how I was going to survive being a teenager, because fuck, that sucked. Oh my god. I'm like so glad I survived. It's just like, I really feel for young people today. It's like, my god, yeah, you guys definitely have it really hard. You were dealt a very complex world state of affairs. It got a little loco, okay? Yeah, I remember the good times. I was quite young still. I was a kid in the 90s. To place me in time, if you must. But, you know, my references are going to be self-evident, so I hide to that level. I'm still hiding, but, you know, there's some things where it's like, I gotta give you context, or why should you listen? You know, like, why should you care about what I have to say? And honestly, I don't know if you should. I really think you should care as little as possible, because I really hope for this to remain utter nonsense for as long as humanly possible. I really, I thought about calling this the Nonsense Chronicles. And that, I think, is going to be a big part of whatever this becomes. Watch me and my nonsense. And if it's your kind of nonsense, then, like, I've got loads. I've got an endless stream. I don't know why, but I seem to be like directly tap rooted into like source code nonsense madness. That's where I come from. I come from like really the land of Oz is just like that's the foyer. That's like, okay, you know, and then you get through Alice in Wonderland, okay, and then it just doesn't stop. It just goes deeper and deeper. And I'm really appreciative for all of the fantasy and sci-fi writers out there, all of the people imagining alternative worlds. I particularly like the kind of magical realism direction, so that's going to be something. I'm not really sure how, but stick around and we can explore this together. I have a system for magic, actually. That's like where I spent a lot of my time, was on like the mythology that surrounds the world. I haven't even really gotten to like the characters yet. I mean, I have characters in mind, but their lives are just like constantly changing, depending on where I'm at. So I have like many different versions of the same few stories. I don't have that many stories. They're just told many different ways. And it's like, which one best represents the underlying energy? You know? That's the whole thing with words. It's like they're not real. Like they are, but like we invented them. Like how real can they be? They're real because we believe. We have a shared belief. We have a shared language. We've got this software running, and it's you know, some people learn real easy languages. I'm not one of them. You know, that's another story for another time. But languages are very difficult for the wild guardian and little wild child. Wild child did not do words well. It was not about words. It was about movement and colors. Movement and colors. Everything was about movement and colors. And then this kind of, I don't know why I'm doing this accent, that is also going to happen. I don't have a fixed sense. I mean, you'll hear this voice probably the most. I have hyper voices. I have like, I'm a pathetic lump on the floor and I don't really know how I'm going to survive this wailing. I'll spare you that though. We don't need to go there together. That's private. That's between me and my toilet bowl, all right? Like, we have a relationship. It happens daily. I hope it's happening for you as well, or else y'all aren't doing too good. Digestive issues, man. We are digesting a lot right now. Let's put it that way. We're all digesting a lot. It's a lot. Every day, it's a lot. And you gotta get really, really good at not taking this shit personally, because it's not really about you. A lot of it is just like what's happening now around you and what other people are up to and what they believe and what they think and what they want and all the wants, all the wanting. Yeah, all the chasing. There's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm not saying that I've always got my shit together. Sometimes I'm really just like, ooh, is there anything solid at all, or is it all melting? Is everything melting? Damn it. Okay, well then I guess I'm surfing. I guess I'll just find something to like slip and slide around this mess. I mean, I'm not going down, if that's what you're saying. No, just because everything's melting doesn't mean that we're doomed. Everything's just transforming. It's like I like to think of it like, you know, when I said yes to being human, I didn't fully appreciate how full on it was going to be all the time. I think some part of me thought I was going to have like some very spacious naps, but like it wasn't just about sleeping. It was like long periods of time where I don't have to deal with all of you guys. You know what I mean? Like, why is everything so involved? Like why do I need to know about this? This feels really unbelievably not my problem to a degree that like I can't even form thoughts, let alone words to respond. You know, it's just like, what are we to each other right now? You know, like, am I really here, or am I just like a reflective surface for you to hear yourself speak off of? Sometimes that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm walking around and no one else is really here. And it kind of freaks me out. It's like, who's driving your ship, man? Like, does he hear? Does she hear anything that's going on? Or is it really just like completely dark in there? Like, what's going on? You gotta turn the light on, man. You gotta look at it. I know it sucks, whatever it is you're not looking at, but not looking at it is not helping. There's like a chasm growing inside you of like unmet desires, needs, like things that you actually came here to do. And they're like, it's not always things that you want. You're like, no, I don't want this. Why me? Can someone else take this? I'm really good. Like, I would love to just avoid all of that whole experience. That is not how this works. You're going to sit down, okay, and you're going to just feel the shit out of all of this all the time. And everyone's stories and the stories and the reverbs of the stories and the stories. Oh my God. And then you start to hear the source of the story getting stronger. You know, like, oh, there's some like really nasty shit going on over there, and they're just spewing a lot of venom in all directions. And like, I know some people wonder why, and I'm not one of them. Like, it's like, yeah, you're deranged. I mean, what do you want? Like, you clearly do not have your shit together at all. This became my theme song recently. And it's a really important part of giving yourself permission to play. This theme song is the like activation code to be like, let's go, all right? Let's go play. Because like, this shit's not my problem. And I'm not going to hell. Those are the lyrics. Without the swears in there. I'm trying to remember the tune. It's one of those like, it's not really a song, it's like 2 lines and that's it, and you're done. It's just boom, ch, boom, boom, ch. Get out of here. This is not my problem. I'm not gonna help. And then you just leave. You just go. Don't question it, just go. It's not your problem. Don't make it your problem, and don't let them make it become your problem. You understand? When things are your problem, it's really fucking obvious because you're in like pain. And things are really not going well. You are going away from what you want towards just like, I don't want that. Like that. Whatever that is for you, like, there's a reason why you get these like strong visceral reactions of yes or no, yes, no, yes, no, never, no, nay, never, no, that's not happening. That is a nopester toaster. That's like, You can take that and shove it where the sun don't shine. I don't want to see that ever again. Cheese and crackers. You know what I mean? Like some things you just know, like I'm never coming back here. Never coming back here again. No siree. I have better things to do. Like stare at a leaf that has just tumbled onto my balcony, and I'll contemplate getting a broom. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna watch that brittle leaf scuttle across, and like the wind goes in circles and circles, and you're just like, this leaf has so much life, and it's like a dead, hollowed out husk of what it used to be, and yet like it's having a dance with the wind. Like, wow. And then, you know, you forget what you're talking about and why you're here, and you're just like, I got to think about a leaf. That's so cool. I got to like beam into the leaf litter on my balcony. Like, what is everyone in such a big fat hurry for? I don't understand, and I never have. And I felt dumb for the longest time. I was just like, I don't get it, guys. Where's everyone trying to go? What's this mission that has to be done so fucking fast? Like, really? Do you need it that fast? Or are you just like completely off your nut and you just have no concept of like grace? Like the grace of something moving in its sweet time without having to be rushed because you're bored by life and everything bores you and you're numb. Like, that's your fucking problem. Honestly, that's you and yourself and your inability to sit with your shit. Okay? I don't know who I'm saying this to. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I mean, obviously I am. It's like 23 minutes into this. Going on 24, baby. And there's no end in sight. Like, at just some point I need to pee or like drink or something. And that's usually how these things end, or someone just interrupts me. Like, when I'm talking about a faucet, it's an endless faucet of nonsense. I don't know if any of this is important to anybody else. But the thing is, I'm losing my mind by not talking about it somewhere. So, you know, if you like it, cool. Like, that's great. I can do more. And if you want it toned down, you know, you can find another place to hang out on the internet. It's really vast. There's a lot of options here. Like, really. And if no one is doing the option that you want, like, I challenge you, do what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be on YouTube. Do it anywhere. Go find a place to hang out online where you're actually doing what you enjoy doing, and you do whatever feels like play. And you use your words, your colors. This isn't about branding. It's not about making money. That's not what I'm talking about. Although you probably will, because once you're actually being authentic and in that kind of state of mind, like, you just end up connecting with the right people, and stuff just starts to, like, I know it's a yucky business word, but it's the word. It starts to synergize. You get these different points between the individuals all connecting and firing in different ways, and it's like self-regulating, because like some people will be down and then other people will be up, and it's a team and we're collaborating. And it's free, like the free movement of energy of people connecting. Like, that's what the internet should have been. That's what the internet should have been. It should have been people just connecting with each other wherever they are. And if I want to talk to you and you don't speak my language, yeah, it would be freaking awesome if there could be like a translate thingy so that like language doesn't become a barrier, because I want to just talk to you. I don't really care what your language is. I mean, I would love to learn it, but as I mentioned, learning English was already exceptionally challenging, and that's my first language. So the likelihood of me learning the rest of them is very low unless I live to be like 1,000. But, maybe I'll live to be 1,000 and then I'll speak all the languages. I'm down. Like, honestly, challenge accepted. I'll try. It's my goal. I would love to be able to talk to anybody about anything at any time. That's my dream. Not that they have to want to talk with me, Like, I realize I am not everyone's cup of tea. Some people don't like 25-minute thoughts. They want a 25-second soundbite, and it's like, that's totally cool, my man, my woman, my whoever you are. If that's what does it for you, okay. I'm not going to be there with you, though. I'm not going to be thinking in 25-second sound bites. I never will. That's not me. I'll be here with the other dinosaurs. I'm cool. I'm cool being a slowpoke. I kind of identify as many different animals, really given the circumstance. I really enjoy the tortoise. Symbolically speaking, it's a pace that I recommend. At times, of course. Sometimes it's good to move and be active. But, to each their own. And that's really the whole point of the permission of play is, what do you do that feels like play? And what do you do that feels like play? And if something is happening that's off, you find it in a playful state of mind. And it's within a playful state of mind that you can correct behavior that might be inappropriate. And yeah, it might happen that some of the things that you want to do is like not accepted by your culture or your society. And you got to ask yourself, is this culture still serving me? I don't know. You got to ask. We get to decide. Culture isn't like a static thing. It doesn't stop. Culture is growing and moving and transforming all of the time. Culture needs to reflect the realities of the day. Again, yeah, traditions are great. Traditions are wonderful, and we need our traditions. We need the rootedness of belief in something. You need some kind of reference point. What is true for you? You got to go find that for yourself. There's a need for rootedness to a place. This is a human need. We need to feel rooted to a place. Now, not everyone necessarily needs to have a spiritual component to that, but I'll tell you, even if you don't feel like you're a spiritual being, the act of being connected to the environment around you is a spiritual act. Like, at this point, this is like semantic nonsense that I just get so bored by. Like, we're talking about the same thing, bro. Calm the fuck down, okay? I know you don't like the word spirituality. Just deal with the fact that to some people, that has a spiritual component. And if you don't feel it yet, that's okay. You might never feel it. That's okay. We're not all here to feel the same things. We're not all here to know the same things, like the same things, experience them. We're all here to have our own experience. And I just cannot tolerate how many people are stuck in this rat shit life that's so not representative of the magnitude of their potential. Everyone has so much more potential than they're actualizing. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted constantly. Which I know is not a very nice emotion to have, but it's true. And I've given up pretending to feel things that aren't true. I am disgusted by many things happening now. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to dwell on it anymore. Sometimes people, their standards are just so low. If that's how you live, I don't know if you should be in charge of the culture. I don't know if you should be allowed to censor what other people do, because clearly you're bananas. I know I'm bananas, but I'm not running around trying to control what other people do. So, I just want to be left to do my madness. I want to be left to do my madness. And like, if I start to spiral out of control, or I'm getting like to a point where others are being negatively impacted, yeah, I actually need you to point it out to me, please and thank you. Like, if I'm veering off, tell me. Feedback, man, that's what we need to give each other. You've gone too far. You need to step up more. You haven't gone far enough. You're just like in the middle, constantly in the middle. I mean, it's like, this is the hardest part of it all. It's just like, some people will figure it out, some people will never figure it out, and it's just like, they're both equally true and happening all the time. Like, it's never we're all pulling in the same direction. It's always chaotic, as like it is, but there's order to the chaos when you're able to zoom out. The orders of magnitude that you're able to zoom out, it becomes more and more patterned. But if we each can't be our own like opportunistic, self-serving being that we're supposed to be, like, yeah, how can you make the right choices? Because like, you're making them based off of like an outdated list of commandments from someone who like doesn't have any connection to now. I mean, the past is supposed to be, a place where we learn lessons from, absolutely, but like, your lived experience should supersede something you read in a book at some point, because the book might be outdated. That information, it's not that it's false and like it was never true, it's just, it's not true anymore. It's not helpful today. Like, this isn't gonna put food on the table, and that really, like, when you're down to your bottom dollar and all you got left is the sunshine, yeah, like, you do need to have things be a little bit more based on reality, like, there's food at stake here, nutrition. I need to eat. Some decisions really need to be that basic. Like, yeah, you need to take care of yourself. You need to figure out how to take care of yourself. And the answer to that question is changing basically daily right now. There are so many opportunities and so many risks simultaneously happening at the exact same time. And it's always like that in periods of great change. There's always an incredible amount of loss and an incredible amount of gain. And ideally, we're all gaining and losing. We're losing what needed to be left behind, and we're gaining what tomorrow needs. Because when you get into that groove, when you're like really aware, what do I need to do today so that the tomorrow that I want to live in can happen? Like, what do I need to let go of to allow that person to be true today? If this is really where I want to go, And again, it's difficult because a lot of this stuff is really about the underlying feeling. And for me, that underlying feeling is the permission to play. So before I start an entire new loop, I'm going to stop here because I think I've made a lot of points, and many of these points are kind of the big points that I'd probably want to pursue in more detail in other videos. Because I'm kind of thinking about this like I've already just started doing my episodes. So that's what this is. It's the beginning of episodes. So that's cool. Go us.